Well, good Monday afternoon and welcome back for Progressive Plan Inc.'s Quick Tip number 11. Today, let's do something a little bit special. Today, let's build a turnaround team. So, a turnaround team will, of course, begin with a turnaround manager and some form of planning and scheduling solution. That might be onboarded lead planner, that might be a contract employee, that might be a provider solution such as Progressive Plan. That is where the team begins. Now, obviously, that amount of resourcing could never, ever manage an entire turnaround. So the balance of a turnaround team in most cases is usually seconded from the various teams that need to be represented within the turnaround core team in order for us to have, a reasonable shot at success here. So let's start with the most important peoples that we're going to bring in is operations. Now, I don't think there is any group whose relationship to the turnaround team and whose engagement with the turnaround team is more important than the operations team. Now, in a very small place, this might be a senior operator that's going to represent the operations in the turnaround group. In a little bit bigger place, it might be several senior operators that are going to do that. And in a large, complex turnaround, you might have a operations turnaround lead and several turnaround unit leads, all as a part of it. No matter what, we need to do whatever it takes to get absolute engagement from the facility operations team, because without it, everything else will just fall apart. Likewise with the facility maintenance team. The maintenance team is participating in ongoing maintenance 365 days of the year. They have all kinds of input to bring to the table, and they also will have a selection of work that they can't address, that isn't turnaround work per se, but that they can't properly address unless the plant is down. So we do want the full participation of the plant operations and maintenance teams. We're going to need to involve engineering. I would think that's fairly obvious to most people. We don't want to start doing work and then find out that we're not allowed to do it. So let's involve engineering right from the start so that they are participating and hearing and understanding every suggestion that comes across the table so that they can help us get to the proper solutions for the problems that are confronting our turnaround. QA, integrity, inspection. It seems nowadays everybody has their own little way of saying this. I will say it used to be a lot more standardized when everybody had a QA department, a QA manual, and an A pressure license. A lot of people have dropped that now. And so in some facilities, integrity has become a little bit of an orphan child. Who do they report to? It's becoming quite common for integrity to report to engineering too. So even if they are reporting to engineering, I would prefer to see two people here. Somebody representing engineering per se and whoever represents integrity on that team. Work management. And by work management, I mean your day-to-day planners and schedulers that plan and schedule all of your routine maintenance work. To start with, your work management team in a modern world literally owns your work breakdown structure. They literally own the layout of your SAP system, and they know all the work that's sitting in the backlog, and they know all the work that should have been pushed to you. Now, I will say one thing: there will be work that work management's going to bring to us that isn't going to qualify for the turnaround. It will just plain be maintenance backlog. And one of the things we're going to watch for is we're not going to accept a great deal of maintenance backlog cleanup in our turnaround. Procurement. The procurement for a turnaround, can be quite significant in terms of volume and dollars spent, and B, the exact precise time when procured materials arrive matters. It matters a lot. You have to have procurement representation on your turnaround team. And finally, HSE and security. I left them to the end because I'm thinking everybody was expecting me to put them at the beginning. HS&E will be second only to operations in terms of how important they are to the success of the turnaround. The HSE support plan that will be produced by the HSE turnaround representative and his team or her team, whichever it happens to be, will be second only to the operations support plan in terms of absolute importance to the success of our turnaround. So again, as always with the progressive plan approach, we are talking about the minimum, the basics that have to be done. In very small plants, that is quite often all that we're going to do. And in really small plants, some of these positions will have to be doubled up on. But for the most part, you have to cover, you need to have a name associated with at least these groups in order to be successful. See you next Monday. Thanks for coming by. Have a nice day.